welcome to CarWale. We are here to review the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza. The Vitara Brezza is a huge success for Maruti, but as far as SUVs are concerned, it's their first one. According to Maruti, the Vitara Brezza was developed in India for India, which made all the difference. As of now, the Maruti comes only with the diesel manual option, so let's find out what really clicks for the car. As far as looks are concerned, it definitely looks like an SUV, despite the compact dimensions. The large chrome grille, flanked by the stylish headlamps and the big bumper, gives it loads of presence. Even in profile, the large 16-inch wheels, the flared wheel arches and the squared out dimensions definitely shouts SUV. But it's from the back where it looks a little too generic and it loses some of its SUV-ness, where it looks more like a jacked up hatchback. What really enhances the overall buying experience on the Vitara is the iCreate app, where you can choose from various items to customize the car according to your liking. This also lets you see the car virtually before you make the purchase. Moving on to the cabin of the Vitara Brezza, the dashboard design looks clean and obviously there's a lot of family resemblance here. Things like the dash layout, the switches, the stalks are all shared with other Maruti products. But the main reason why the dash looks uncluttered is because of this infotainment system. Now, as you can see, it's very sensitive and it's very easy to use. This modern touchscreen system also houses Apple CarPlay, which helps you control your calls, you can read your messages, you can control your music, which is really helpful. In terms of quality, the dash top looks really nice with the textured finish, but as you move lower down, things start getting a bit sketchy where the plastics are hard, the edges are a little too sharp, and even in terms of build, it feels a little too light. For example, this door shut, which is a little hollow, and cars like the EcoSport do it better. Moving over to the rear seat of the Vitara Brezza, as you can see, there's lots of space, so Maruti have done a good job of liberating maximum room in minimum footprint. The seat itself is quite comfortable with good support, but the cushioning is a tad too soft, so it can get uncomfortable over long journeys. Moving over to the boot, which is rated at 328 litres, is quite big. As you can see, the well-shaped bay makes it easy to place your luggage, and the hatch opening definitely makes it more usable. You also get 60-40 split seats for added convenience. As of now, the Vitara Brezza just gets one engine option. It is powered by the 1.3-litre multi-jet engine from Fiat. Making 90 PS of power, it might sound less for such a big car, but it's actually adequate for the light curve weight. In the city, there's too much turbo lag and you have to constantly shift the gearbox to keep it in the meat of the power band. But once past 2000 RPM, there's a nice surge from the engine and you can use the mid-range, especially while overtaking on the highway. Although the Brezza cruises really well on the highway, it's a very narrow power band you have to play with. It's in between 2000 and 3800 RPM that it feels best. And you have to constantly shift the gearbox, and when you really work it hard, the engine sounds rough, you can hear it inside, and it's started to show its age. But where this decade-old engine is not showing its age is in terms of fuel efficiency. In a city run, it returned an impressive 14.1 kmpl, and even on the highway, it stretched its legs to 19.1 kmpl. The biggest disappointment of the Vitara Brezza is the ride quality. The combination of stiff springs and lightweight gives it a really busy ride, especially at low speeds. You can feel every small ripple on the road, and even on the highway, although it gets better, it never feels quite settled. But what makes it worse is the sound insulation, which is not the best. You get a lot of road noise, there's a lot of wind noise also coming through the A-pillars, and the noisy suspension just doesn't make the car feel as plush as it should. On the flip side, the stiff suspension gives the car really good poise around corners. There's loads of grip, and despite the tall dimensions, there's hardly any roll, and the precise steering lets you steer the car where you exactly want it to go. All in all, this is a fun ride when you're in the mood. So this brings us to the end of the review, and the Vitara Brezza comes across as a very well-rounded product. It looks striking, is very efficient, has loads of space on the inside, is loaded with equipment, and the way it drives around corners is just a lot of fun. Priced at a competitive 9.7 lakh at showroom Delhi, it's just an icing on the cake. It's not perfect though. The once benchmark 1.3-litre diesel engine has now started to show its age, and the light Japanese build doesn't really go well with it being an SUV. the stiff low-speed ride also is not the most comfortable. But none of them are deal breakers, and as a product, the Brezza really works. The Brezza is yet another success story for Maruti, and going by the product, it deserves to do well.